Look, before we get started, let's be honest. You might want to grab a cocktail, maybe a glass of wine. I'm feeling in a strange mood. I'm ready to practice yoga. Let's see who's here. Kelly, my love of my life. Kelly, hello. She's back from Denver. So excited. I needed this after traveling across the country. Yeah, Kelly, I mean, this is for you, hon. I mean, this is really, the whole thing is for you. I even went for sort of who's Harry Potter's Dumbledore? I'm going for an avant-garde Dumbledore. That's kind of the look that I was working for. But hey, man, we came here to do some yoga. Let's yoga. Let's do some yoga and shit. Doing yoga and shit. And anyone else can join along later, or you're maybe watching this pre-recorded. Hi, I'm Scott. We're going to do some relaxing yoga. I got a really nice routine for you. Thanks for being here on my channel today. I sure appreciate it. I'm going to switch cameras and step over to my mat. And I didn't have time to strap my controls onto my arm, so I might have to periodically grab that. And, you know, for the most part, I just wanted to see that, you know, I'm willing to take big fashion risks. I'm cool with that, and I hope you guys are too. And I think there's got to be some yoga application for this wizard hat. I just haven't figured that out yet. Step onto your mat, guys. I hope that you are well. I hope your family's well. I hope everybody's just damn well. And I want you to slide your feet apart closer to the short edges of your mat. And let's go ahead and hinge forward. Place your fingers on the floor. And then as your knees bend, turn them out as well as your toes to those corners of your mat. We're gliding the heart over the long edge of the mat in front of us. And the back long edge is behind your heels. Now let's go ahead and take a moment of stillness here and take your hands, place them palm down underneath your butt with your fingers pointing behind you and your toes pointing forward. Now, while you're doing that, I always think I'm remembering everything, but I got to get a little water on my mat. You know, it's that mat trick. So you get a little bit more tactile on the mat. Maybe you had to do that. And go ahead and move around from side to side again. In a moment, we're going to turn to the top of the mat. That's going to be to your right. But let's just loosen up those knees, loosen up those hips. We'll use a lot of twisting to loosen up the back and the hips. But we're just sort of introducing those movements, moving ballistically and dynamically, and oscillating from side to side and position to position. If you want, leave your left fingertips on the floor and reach your right hand up just for a nice simple twist. And use your right foot to push you towards your left foot without your left knee bending. Just feel what happens when you apply a little bit more muscle and tone to the pose you're doing. Reach your right hand down and reach your left hand up. My kimono is quickly going to get in the way, but this is my favorite thing currently. Aside from my daughter, let's be clear, I do prefer human beings, but if we're talking about your stuff, I like my kimono. Go ahead and walk your hands to the top of your mat. Step your right foot back, and now you're in a plank position on your mat. What are we going to do? You know what we're going to do. We're not going to do up dog, down dog. We're going to do a push-up. Touch your chest to the mat, and then press back into downward facing dog. Now here I want to invite you to move around again any way you like. Push those heels down, and then pull those knees up towards the nipples. And when you're pressing into one heel at a time, you can also get this nice side stretch if you pull your knee that's bending underneath your straight leg. How you guys doing? How's your hump day working out for you? How's October been? Mine's groovy. Not only do I have my amazing friend Kelly and friends Kelly and Brand back from New York. Welcome back, guys. But my brother's been in town for like 2 weeks. There's been, if we choose to think about it, there's been some real tremendous blessing in this challenging, unprecedented time. All right, let's move. Lift your heels up high from down dog and just let yourself splay your toes and stretch the bottom of your feet. Then press your heels down without straightening your legs. Bring your knees to the mat and pull your hips back and let your head rest on the center of your mat. Come forward until you're into a tabletop, and you can bend your elbows and touch your chest to your thumbs, or do a full push-up, lift the knees, and then bend the elbows. Push up and press back. Now looking straight down from downward facing dog, let's repeat that pattern. Without pushing yourself forward, lift your heels. That means when you feel that resistance in your palms push your butt back a little bit harder, and then lower your heels. Bring your knees to the mat, pull your hips back, rest your head. Come forward into a plank, leave your knees down if you need to. Exhale, touch your chest to the mat, push up and press back. And we love threes, don't we, guys? So we're going to do one more set. From downward facing dog, look straight down. Remember, he is downward facing dog after all, not backward facing dog. Lift up your heels, breathe in. Press your heels down, breathe out. Bring your knees to the mat, breathe in. And pull your hips back, touch the forehead to the mat. Come forward into a tabletop or lift your knees for a plank and bend your elbows and touch your chest down. Push up and press back. Now let's lift the right leg up into the air, open your hip, bend your knee, and then step your right foot softly between your thumbs. Reach your right hand up into the air, turning your chest to the right. Let's hold this first one. And yeah, we got to lose that. He's taking off his clothes. What's going on? Hold that right hand up. Look up for your right thumb. Maybe try to pull your hips down another 1/2 inch and make your body another 1/2 inch longer and taller. And then reach down and pivot to your left. Leave your right fingertips on the floor and reach your left hand up, turning your chest to the back edge of your mat. And then reach down and turn your body back to the top of your mat. Reach both hands up, and now I can get a good look at you. Now from this Anjane, this lunge position, bend your elbows, press your forearms back, and tighten up your belly. This left leg, we want to be nice and solid and straight with the heel high. We're slowly going to turn to the right. And once you turn to the right, make sure your left arm didn't swing in front of your peripheral vision. Keep that left forearm pinned back where you cannot see it. Turn back to the top of your mat and reach your hands up high. When you exhale, reach down, step back, touch your chest to the floor, push up, press back. Now let's do the other side. Lift your left leg up, open your hip, bend your knee. And as you exhale, step softly between your thumbs. Reach your left hand up. Pull your collarbones away from your left hip crease and get taller. Allow the hips to come down. Reach the left hand up high. Turn your head and look for your left thumb in the air. Reach down. We're going to pivot to the right 90 degrees and leave the left fingertips on the floor like you're about to hike a football in a football game. Reach your right hand up. Push into your right foot a little bit harder than your left. Make sure that pushing into your right foot doesn't cause you to bend your left knee. So keep both legs straight, but more pressure in the right foot. Reach down and turn back to the top of your mat. Once all your toes point at the short edge, reach both hands up high and pull the elbows down. Draw the belly tight, lift the back heel, press the forearms back, and slowly turn to your left. And again, let me go to the side camera so you can see that when I go to the left, I want to make sure that I'm still pressing forearms back and that I'm not swinging right arm forward, because we would try to cheat this trunk rotation by getting rotation, thinking we're getting rotation out of that right arm. Reach up, face forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, and touch the chest down, push up, press back. We repeat. Lift your right leg up, open your hip, bend your knee. Exhale, step to the inside of your right thumb. And then reach up and look for that right thumb high in the air. Reach down, pivot to your left. Left hand reaches up, right hand remains on the ground. When you exhale next, reach down, turn back to the top of your mat. When all your toes point forward and you're ready, take your hands off the mat, rise up. Wow! See, I'm doing that because I didn't get the weight in my right heel before I took my hands in the air. Got to have some weight on that heel. If your front heel is going to move around, you're going to have a balance issue. Pull the elbows down, press the forearms back. Back heel is high, back leg is straight. Slowly turn to your right. Reach up, face the front. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back. If you're frisky, throw in a few more push-ups. That's like bonus karma. Lift your left leg up, open your hip, bend your knee. Step softly to the inside of your left thumb. Reach up with your left hand and look for your left thumb. When you exhale, reach down, turn to your right. Leave your left hand on the ground. Reach your right hand to the ceiling. Turn your chest to the wall to your right. Push your butt against your pants. And then reach right hand down. Turn back to the top of your mat. Reach both hands up. Pull the elbows down, the forearms back. Slowly turn to your left. Remember, guys, when we're rotating from the high lunge, you're always going to turn in the direction of the leg that is in front of you, okay? That's an important tip. Reach up, face forward, reach down, step back. Try to get at least one push-up, whether your knees are up or down, and maybe a couple of bonus. Press back. It all adds up, guys. Every little bit of movement, every little contraction, it all adds up. Lift your right leg. Exhale, step. One more set. Right hand reaches high. Exhale, it comes down. We turn left. Left hand reaches up. Turn to the left. Look up for your thumb. Reach down, turn back to the top of your mat. Reach both hands up. When the hands go up, so does the back heel. See my hands going up, and so does my back heel. Pull the elbows down. My right leg is in front, so I'm going to turn to the right. Reach up, face forward. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back. Get in a few push-ups. Maybe you're just watching this. I don't know. Maybe you're family, and you're just watching me sitting on the couch. Lift your left leg. Exhale, step. Maybe you could get on the ground and do a push-up. Reach your left hand up. I don't know. Reach down and turn to the right. Reach your right hand up. Prasarita twist. Reach down. Turn back to the top of your mat. Reach both hands up. Forearms back. Elbows down. Belly tight. Turn to your left because your left leg should be in front of you. Reach up and face forward. Exhale, plant your hands. This is it. This is push-up times, America. Let's try to get in, 10 a day, 20 a day, I don't know, 2 a day. Maybe you're doing them on your knees. Maybe you're just trying to regain something that you've lost over the last few months. And who could blame you? The Corona-19 problem is a big problem, and we've got to find a way to stay active. So thank God for yoga, and thank God for YouTube, and thank God for you guys. Now step your right foot forward from that position into a knight's position, And slowly we're going to push the right knee forward over the toes, even if that lifts the heel. So yeah, I've had my brother in town for like 2 weeks. We got to celebrate our birthdays together, which like never happens. Now slowly lift the left knee, lift the left heel, reach up, and just hold your Anjaneyasana, even though I'm not going to, because I'm going to switch to that other camera so you can get lost in my eyes, and we can just do this, all right? I'm right here. I'm with you. I just celebrated my 55th birthday, and I'm proud of all of the dumb choices that led to the wisdom and the experience that got me here. And thank God for yoga. Thank God for this practice. And if you're watching this and you're doing this, then I'm preaching to the choir. You already know. You get it. See, I'm right here with you still. See if we can't lift that back heel and straighten this back leg a little bit more. It's important for a number of reasons, not the least of which is we've got to get more mobility out of our feet. So when we are barefoot, we need to really use yoga as a mechanism to rehabilitate the feet, not just lengthen the hamstrings or loosen up the hips. Are you ready? Because we're about to move forward. Bring your hands down in front of you. Press the palms together. And I'm going to ask you to press palms together, not just touch them quite a bit tonight, okay? So pressure in your palms. Lean forward. And see, before you take your left foot off of the mat, can you lift your arms till you can't see them? Just try that. Weight in the right foot. Lift the left leg. Warrior 3. Point your left toes behind you. Try to keep your hips level. Reach down and fingertips touch the mat in front of your toes. Bend your left knee. Hug your left heel close to your butt. And then try to lift your left knee away from the floor. We're doing yoga and shit. Yoga and shit. This is sort of like my theme song I'm working on. Get on your mat for a bit and don't throw a fit. Step your left foot next to your right. Hands on your knees, lift halfway up. Exhale, grab your ankles and pull down. Now that you're looking at the back edge of your mat between your legs, drive into the heels while you try to pull your heart to the space on your mat between your big toes. So you got to look down to where that is. Instead of looking behind you at the back edge of your mat, I want you to try to see the front edge of your mat, see your toes, and where you're trying to drive your heart to. Now, a little bend in the knees as you spring up to standing, rise up, reach up, and bring your hands together in front of your heart. Am I cutting off my head? Damn it, I'm going to step back. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is a standing half lotus. That's my preferred move when I get halfway through a sequence and when that glute is fatigued. So take your right ankle, cross it to your left thigh, point your right toes, and slowly hinge. Now, a moment ago, we were reaching down to touch the right foot with joined palms. Now I want you to do the same thing. Reach down and try to touch the big toe of your left foot with your fingertips and palms joined. And then notice that when you bend your left knee, that your right shin gets driven to the triceps. I want you to resist and push the triceps back against the shin. You're trying to drive your collarbones away from your hip bones. Hands at the heart. Rise up, plant your right foot, reach your hands into the air. And hinge forward. Fingertips back on the mat. Lift your left leg and step back. I want you to bring your left knee down. And we're back in the position we started with tonight, which is a knight's position. I'm a big fan of knight position. There's just so many great hip and lateral side body movements that we can do from here. So first thing I want you to do is just place your left hand on the top of your head. top of your head, like you're holding down a hat in the wind. Now, if you grip your skull from here, your left fingertips are on the right side of your head, right? So what I want you to do is take your right hand, reach underneath your butt, and see if you can touch your left kneecap where it's meeting the floor. And maybe you only get to the thigh. Maybe you can't even get there. Guys, there is no right or wrong here. There's just the movement that you possess today. So reach under, and then once you have that, try to slide right fingertips down left thigh. And last, try to draw your right ear closer to your right shoulder. Almost like you're trying to turn your head and see the world upside down. And release. We're going to need that space in the side bodies later. I'm going to throw a couple of nice bind options at you, okay? But for right now, we're going to step back, lie down on the belly. I got to see which camera on I'm again. And we're going to go left hand left and roll to your left. This is a common pec stretch that you would see a guy doing at the gym. Usually they're doing it standing against a wall. But we have the option when we're on the ground to slide right foot back and possibly even left foot back and try to point your knees up and release. And that's just another way we're trying to prep the shoulders to help us bind here in a little bit. Place your left hand underneath you, push up, and press back. Enjoy a nice deep breath or two. And then lower your knees down. Take your hands off your mat. Step your left foot forward. We're back in our Knight's position. You know, it's common in Vinyasa yoga, and I've talked about this quite a few times as of late, and the fact that we typically go down dog, step forward, which for people that are trying to develop a practice, that can be challenging. But just please know that if you'd prefer to go down dog, step forward, please do that. I'm trying to give people a much more inclusive option. That's what I wanted to say. Are you ready? Now push that left knee forward over your toes, because again, we're always working on the foot, right? I'm going to go back to the side just for a second so you can see we're trying to improve this range of motion here in dorsiflexion, plantar flexion too, but just have a more mobile foot at the ankle, at the navicular joint, at the arch, at the toes, all right? Shut up. Okay. Now slowly push down into the ball of your right foot and lift your right knee, and then the weight in the left heel pushes you back till the shin's parallel to the top edge. Reach your hands up in the air. We're just going to hold this lunge for a bit. We're going to hold this pose for a bit. Get on your mat, you little shit. We're doing yoga. Yoga! So when you're practicing at home, I hope that you take the opportunity sometimes to hold poses longer than you typically might at a studio or your favorite class. It's really good to find out where those edges are, where those limitations are, try to push past them. And sometimes yoga is just like this, it's not a journey anymore. It's just like, get to Shavasana, bust out these poses. But if I haven't told you this 1,000 times, every yoga class is really a breathing class. Now, we're going to lean forward, palms together. Remember, don't just touch your palms. I'm touching. Push. Lift your arms. Lift your right leg. Hold that warrior 3 like the badass you are. Are you a badass? If you're at home and you're a badass, say, I'm a badass. Don't fucking leave me a comment right now. Nobody leaving me a comment as a badass right now. We want that left glute to question why it's being picked on. Now slowly bring your fingertips down to your left big toe. Bend your right knee. Oh my God, my glute is on fire. Squeeze the right heel to the glute. Lift the right knee up. You said this was going to be relaxing and serene. You suck. And step forward. Hands on the knees. This is where you go, thank you, baby Jesus. Thank you, Tom Cruise. Thank you, Buddha. Okay, grab your ankles. Look at the back edge of your mat. Drive your heels down and try to pull your heart down between the arches of your feet. Little bend in the knees so you can spring up through the heels as you come up to standing. I'm going to switch cameras and step back just a little bit. And now, this left glute, that's our en fuego glute, right? So we're going to step off of the left foot, cross the ankle to the thigh, and at this beautiful opportunity, we're going to get that glute stretch, right? Join your palms again. Now fingertips are going to reach down and they're going to try to make contact with your big toe. Now because I'm on the camera in front of me, I want you to know maybe you take your hands down to your kneecap. Maybe you could just slide them down the shin a little bit. The objective is not to get to any particular place, but to discover where your end range is today. No matter where you have your fingers, now bend your right knee. That's going to drive your shin to your triceps. Triceps resist and push the shin back. Thumbs to the heart. Rise back up. Plant your foot. Reach up high. Take a deep breath. Hinge forward. Fingertips touch down again. Right leg lifts. And we step it back. Right knee to the mat, and we're in our tabletop for that lateral bend. That means the right hand is going to come to the top of the head, and when I bring my fingers down, like I was going to palm a basketball, by the way, I can't palm a basketball. I'm a grown-ass man with a big hand. It's not happening. Now, but if I'm palming my skull, right? So I'm going to palm my skull. That means my fingertips, if I drum them, are going to be tapping the left side of my head. This is important because that point where your fingertips are touching your skull, that's where you're going to push. But remember, you're going to push last into that place, okay? So hand on the top of your head, left hand's going to reach under and try to make contact with the right thigh. Now, if it's challenging or it's hard on the knees, remember, pad the knees. You could always place a chair next to you if you're really struggling with balance here. But just reach down and then try to reach as far across as you can, if there's still range of motion there, and that's right side body. And then we're going to use the left side of the neck to create a little bit more. So try to pull your left ear to your left shoulder, like a dog hearing a really weird sound. Mm-hmm. And take your deepest breaths while you're there. Release. We're going to lie down on the belly. This right hand is going to reach out to the right, okay? And if I switch cameras here, I'll be able to talk to you in the other camera. Right hand reaches right. Look to your left. Rest the right side of your head on the ground. And roll onto your right side body. I want to make sure I don't disconnect this microphone. There we go. I'm getting better at live, but in general, what Why do people do this? Why do people do yoga? It's uncomfortable. It's hard. You feel stupid, doing weird shit, and then you're really worried that somebody else is going to see you not being able to do weird shit. Step your left foot back. If you want, step your right foot back and try to point that right knee up, or get your right knee to touch your left knee. Oh, you're going to feel that. Release. Roll onto your belly. Now, guys, we're going to get into the delightful part. I don't use the word delightful lightly. Push yourself up into a tabletop and step your right foot forward. There you go. I'm just redoing my mic here. Hope everybody can still hear me. Drop a comment if you can't. All right, right foot steps forward. We're going to turn to the left. Rise up, and we're in that prasarta position. I'm on the right camera. That worked out well. Now turn your right foot out. Bend your right knee. So I've got a warrior two stance with my feet, my legs. But we're going to oscillate from this position. The first thing I want you to do is take your hands, reach up. And remember when I said palms together? Don't just touch, pressure, like you're crushing an egg in your palms, okay? And let's also add a straight right leg when the hands are up. Now, as we bend the right knee, the hands are going to come behind us, all right? And I'm not trying to pull them down. I'm not trying to pull them up. I'm not trying to weave them. I'm going to turn around really fast so you can see they're in the same position here as they were above my head, okay? Pressure in your palms behind you. And when you reach up again, straighten your right leg, pressure in your palms. Push, bend your knee, reach down, behind you. Push, straighten your right leg, reach up, and push. Reach your hands down and push. Keep your right knee bent. Reach your hands up, slide your thumbs over your ears. Point your elbows forward. That means they're right here at the peripheral vision, like blinders on a racehorse. And then I want you to simply lift your elbows up and then try to lift your butt cheeks up. It feels like you're wrapping your spine around a big exercise ball somebody placed on your back. Now remember, we're not trying to push the head back against the fingers. So I want you to think about trying to lift your skull off of your neck with the palms pressing into the sides of your temples. We're almost done. But remember, what you're looking at the ceiling, try to use your spine to push your heart to that place. And then slowly take your hands out. And just like we practiced, this time when your hands come behind you, bind them. Keep your right knee bent. Now, we're not doing a humble warrior. We're doing a variation. So don't turn to the inside of that right knee, please. I want you to simply bow and lift your fists, but keep your feet and your legs in the warrior two stance. This means you can see behind you. If you brought chin closer to chest, you would even see your butt crack if you were naked, and, maybe you don't want to see that. I get it. Rise back up. Now, I want you to take your left hand, keep your right hand behind your back, left hand on your shoulder. I want you to slide your left hand down the back of your arm, or walk it down like a spider, and press your right elbow in. So this is called a chicken wing. I've got my hand on my hip. I'm trying to pull my elbow in, but make sure you're not turning your torso to the right to try to compensate, because this movement here is me rotating my shoulders over my hips. This is not doing anything else for my shoulder capsule. Now let's see if we can play around, have a little bit of fun. So I want you to take your left hand and reach behind you and place your right hand where your back pocket would be if you're wearing a pair of jeans. Place your right hand next to your right foot. Maybe this is where you stop today. This is a great place to stop. A nice option here would be to straighten the right leg and bend the left leg. But you can stay here and switch out bent leg for straight, like so. You can always oscillate too. And for those of you that dare and have the range of motion and the ability today, and tomorrow might be different, reach your right hand up. I'm sliding my right tricep across the back of my right knee and reaching the right hand up to find the left hand. Now from here, maybe you stay and just try to turn your chest away from the floor to the wall like I'm trying to turn to you. Another option would be to straighten the right leg, and just like with the hand on the floor people, you could bend the left knee too and oscillate in and out of that. And for those of you that need that extra challenge, slide your left foot closer to your right foot and slowly lift your left leg up into the air. Point your left toes. Oh! See? There's no perfect pose. There's no perfect flow. And I gave it hell right there, but I could feel my glute giving out. And rather than try to continue to strain, I'm just going to pop myself out of the pose. Now, to try to relieve this right hip, we're simply going to switch our stance and do a left leg leading lunge. So take your right heel back up, and then hands to your left thigh. Push your knee forward over your toes. You might have to lift your heel of your left foot to get your right knee down. And that's totally okay. From here, take the left foot out to the left. Plant the palms and bend the elbows and bow the heart. You can always step your hands out wide here. And again, you can move around. See, we don't necessarily have to be still. So what I'm doing is just using my belly button as a landmark, and I'm drawing a circle over my mat with my belly button. And that's taken me into new sensations into both legs. So you can always move in a pose. And release. Now let's go ahead and toe heel that left foot in. And now we're just going to repeat that pattern on that side. So as we stand up, plant the right heel and come back into Warrior Two. Reach your hands out, flip your palms up. Serenity now. Now, when we straighten the left leg, reach up, and remember, don't just touch, don't get touchy. Pressure. As you bend your knee, reach out. And as you go to the end range of your knee, press the palms right here at your butt crack. Reach up. We're going into set number 2. Press. Bend the knee, reach down. Press. Straighten the leg, reach up. Press. This is the last one. Bend your knee, reach down. And press. Reach out. Flip your palms. Now, let's take this into the spine and lift and open the heart with it. Slide thumbs over the ears. This is called a full skull position. You're not weaving your hands behind you like you're being arrested, because then your thumb knuckles aren't over your ears, okay? Elbows hug in close. They don't have to touch, even though you might have that range. Lift the elbows up. And remember, when your elbows go up, so do your butt cheeks, but that's a function of your deep low back muscles pulling your glutes up. And straightening your left leg is going to get your butt away from the floor, but it's not going to lift it towards the ceiling. Your back does that. Another way to think about this is, as your elbows go up, pull your pubic bones back. Think of where a zipper would be on a pair of denim jeans and pull that back. And then see if you can't do one more thing And that's use the middle of your back to push your heart closer to the front of your ribs. Release. It doesn't feel good when you're doing it often. Sometimes it does. But God, it feels so good after. It's like an inner liberation every time you practice. Now slowly bow. Remember, don't bow to the left knee. This is not a humble warrior, or at least it's kind of a wild variation. What you're trying to do is prevent this valgus in your left knee. That's your left knee buckling inward. Keep your left knee over your ankle. Keep weight flat in your left foot. And then unlock the right knee and simply bow. And from here, what you're trying to do is pull your knuckles to the ceiling, not over your head, and look behind you. Look under your butt, or go chin to chest and look at your butt. Do it naked and just get to know yourself in a whole new way. Rise up. Now we're going into the chicken wing. So right hand releases the left hand and it comes around to the shoulder. I want to slide my hand down so that my fingertips are on the inside of my elbow. Wrap your left fingertips, the hand behind you, around your back and your body. Like you're trying to glue as much of your left hand on your body as possible, and then draw the left elbow in. We're still in this left leg lunge, right? And that's why your bind, if you went into balance, might have gave way on you. This is recorded at 5:30 at night. I probably would have had different results if I had recorded this in the morning. And don't even know if they'd be better or worse, but everything is a factor. All right, now we're going to take this right hand and place it on your left back pocket. And place your left fingertips next to your left foot. Now, if you'd like to go further, remember the next step isn't to reach under and bind. The next step is to turn your chest open again. Now, you will have to turn chest down to reach under. So maybe you're going to that place, right? So let's reach under. And my left hand is trying to reach behind me to give a person behind me a high five, all right? But there's no one there because I'm in quarantine. Reach your left hand up and turn your chest away from the floor to the wall. Straighten your left leg, maybe. Bend your right knee, maybe. Call me, maybe. Sorry, that was a bad Carly Rae Jepsen joke, but come on. I'm trying here. Now, if you want, shift your weight to your left foot. Slide your right foot forward. Don't try to push off of it, because then you're just hoping to stick a landing, right? So bring your weight entirely to your left foot and lift the right. And slowly bring your foot down. Or not. Maybe you're just crushing that right now. Stay there. You'll catch up. Now we're going into a lunge on the other side, and this is just as good a time as any for me to switch back to that camera. Now that we're in a lunge facing the top edge again, it's sort of like we've returned home. So hands on the thigh, push the knee over the toes. See, in an ideal world, if we had crazy range of motion in the left hip, and maybe you do, you can keep the right heel down and keep the left leg straight and bring that knee down. I got really close. Okay, I'm just happy to have I'm tired. What do we do next? Take your right foot out to the right. Fingertips on the mat. And maybe it's a challenge to get your fingertips on the mat, right? It's really important, guys, if you're trying to develop a practice, maybe this is a video that a friend recommended to you, which is like a real subtle hint. If you're liking this, please share it. So maybe if you're watching this, you're like, this hurts my knee, right? There's 1,000 steps. There's always 1,000 steps that we can use to bridge that gap. There's lots of little ways. Stick with me because I'm just going to keep putting videos up on YouTube at least twice a week, and we're going to figure this shit out. But for those of you that are already there, remember you can bow and try to draw. Right now I'm trying to draw a counterclockwise circle with my belly button over my mat. If you are, I don't want to be too blue here, guys, but let's say your lover's coming over, go back to this tape because you might want to limber up, and this could help you. That's what I do. I just help. All right, that was nice. Now, we're going to take that right foot and bring it over to the left edge of the mat, and we're in pigeon on our first side. Go ahead and bring your elbows down. See, I told you we'd get to relaxing and serene. Again, move around if you want to, be still if you want to, rest your head on your hands if you want to. Get up and go pee if you need to. Because, here's another great benefit of COVID, right? We don't even want to admit that, but if you're at home practicing yoga because you can't go to a yoga studio, if there is any more studios by the time this is over, then you can pause it. You can't pause a live yoga class. I've tried. They don't like that. Now, in a moment, your left leg, which is now behind you, is going to be your lifted leg. The leg underneath you, your right, is going to be your plant foot. We're going to flip over and basically reverse this position that we're in. So let's come onto the hands. And again, if you're like, no, man, I love where I'm at, just pause and resume, all right? But if you want to, this right foot is going to step right there. Boom. Now that I've turned around, I want to be really solid with my left hand on the ground and feel solid and good in my left shoulder. So if anything is tweaking right now, it doesn't behoove us to go any further. Which camera am I on? Okay, good. And then, if you want, reach up with your right hand, lift your left foot, and see if you can get your toes to touch your hand. But I'll bet you might have to use your hand to get a little bit closer to the foot. Release and flip back over into downward facing dog. Now we got to do pigeon on the other side. So take that left shin and slide it behind your hands. And pick up where you left off on the first side. Maybe you were really prone, maybe you're wiggling. But I'm telling you, if you've done 10% of this class on the floor, on your mat, then you're doing good work. Here's the other thing that is weird to me about live. It kind of gets in my head a little bit, is I can see how many people are watching, and then like halfway through, some people will leave, and then they'll come back, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? How did I lose you? And that is the good thing about being in a yoga studio doing a yoga class. It's sort of like peer pressure. If you get up and walk out, people are like, what the hell is his problem? This is the shit I think about when I'm practicing sometimes. Or, I guess it's better to say, when I'm having to teach and practice at the same time. But hopefully our practice is a nice moving meditation. It's an opportunity to love on our body in a different way. You're all familiar with the other way. But self-improvement, that's not the right word. Workout isn't the right word. It's the opportunity to experience ourselves and pull ourselves away from all these glowing screens that our eyeballs just love to be glazed to. Here we go. We're going to flip. Ready? Left foot steps over. And I want to make sure I'm not going to try to balance or do anything crazier than this unless I know I feel okay in my right shoulder. Okay? So any impingement there, maybe we need to do more work on your shoulders. There's a class for that. Otherwise, reach your left hand up. Lift your right leg up. And bring that foot. Oh, come on. Come on, body. Damn it. Fail. I wish I could just hit a button and have it go, wah, 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 wah. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get it. I mostly had to reach for my foot, but hey, that's all good. Knees down, my heroes, my hero friends. We're in hero's pose. That's this one. Maybe you're a lazy hero. That's the type that lies back. Maybe you're the nonchalant hero. That's the one that leans back. So, be your hero today. You're my hero. I have immense love and respect for anybody of any discipline that recognizing that good quality of life requires some effort. And the reason why I love yoga the most, and again, I'm maybe preaching to the choir, but maybe there's somebody that's on the fence, right? Maybe there's an undecided voter for yoga. Here's my argument. How else can you make yourself stronger and healthier and think more clearly and rationally without any equipment, without any investment of funds, right? I mean, come on, man, it's free, right? This class is free on YouTube. You could pay me if you want, but it's free. Now, from a seated position, let's squeeze the knees together. We're only going to do one boat. And straighten your legs. And maybe you want to row your boat gently down the stream. I still remember, plant your feet, plant your hands next to your butt, take your butt a half an inch off your mat, bring your butt to your heels, and maybe lift your heels and try to drive your knees over the top edge of your mat. So I still remember very vividly, a favorite video I watched of Dr. Wayne Dyer many times, a beautiful man and passed on years ago. But he had this great bit about talking about what a beautiful idea is present in row your boat. And straighten your right leg, bring your left foot to your right inner thigh. But he did make the point gently. Row your boat gently. So some days we really need to be gentle on the body, pay attention. Some days we give it hell. Grab your right foot and turn and lean towards your left knee. When you feel your right butt cheek is no longer making contact with your mat, begin to turn your chest so you can see the back left corner behind you. And then drive through the right heel and pull at the right shoulder. So that's going to give us a lot of length and strength in a lot of positions that we've used specifically today. I love this variation for the nice stretch you get out of the QL. That's a low back muscle, in this case on your left side. Release. Slide your right foot back. Hold onto your right knee on the inside of your arm. Reach back with your right hand. Lift your heart up and twist. Release. Now let's go a left leg straight, right foot on the inner thigh. So we're going to change up this Janu Shirsasana position from its classic orientations, which would be holding the foot, forehead to knee, right? So what I want you to do is grab your foot, even if you have to bend your knee, right hand on your right knee. And then we're going to turn and lean to the right knee when my butt cheek is no longer off the floor. It doesn't have to be wildly off the floor. I'm not trying to get my nipple on my knee. I'm just trying to get my butt cheek barely off the ground. Then we turn and look underneath your right armpit for the back right corner of your mat. Drive through the left heel. So you should feel a lot of firmness, a lot of tone in your left quadriceps. That's the top of your left thigh. And then when you pull, don't pull with your bicep. That would be your left elbow bending towards your left knee. Pull your left armpit away from your foot, and then you're using your back and shoulder muscles to pull. Release. Plant your left foot and capture the left knee on the inside of the arm. And many of you might be those type that insist on contorting and trying to get this elbow across, right? But a lot of times if we do that, it means we have to take this butt cheek off the floor just to get this elbow here. And that means we're just trying to use these shoulder muscles. This is our rare opportunity to use the bicep in yoga. So hold that knee and pull. Pull it to your chest. Left hand behind you, sit up straight, and turn. Don't forget to breathe, especially focus on trying to breathe a little deeper and slower through the nose when your body's in rotation. Because remember, the primary apparatus of your breathing is your diaphragm, and that's a muscle. So we can strengthen that. Release. And I want to invite you now to lie down on your back if you feel like you're done and you want to rest in Shavasana for a few minutes. And maybe you prefer practicing meditation seated when you finish your physical practice. And that's my go-to. So maybe you sit in Sukhasana. Or maybe you have to get up and feed the kids. But at least you took this time. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm really enjoying teaching live again. It's the first live classes that I've offered in a while. I do want to let you know that we have over 100 yoga classes now on the Stronger Yoga channel, and we're adding a couple every single week. And I would love to get your feedback on what can I help you with? What video do you need to see? What pose do you need explained? You can always leave me a comment. You can always subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when a live class has been scheduled or when a pre-programmed class goes up. And you can always support these classes through a donation on Venmo or the Cash App. And you could also become a Patreon member and be one of the producers of these videos. No matter what. If you've watched this, I really appreciate it, and I hope it's helped. Let me know how I can be more help to you. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Namaste.